We'll open the meeting. Angie, call the roll.
Tim Bradburn.
Here.
Dean Miller.
Here.
Rod Ross.
Here.
Dennis Pelton.
Here.
Tom Holland.
Here.
Judge Mays.
Here. All right, Dennis, will you say this open prayer?
Heavenly Father, we just thank you for this day, Lord. Thank you for the opportunity to come together as a court, Lord, and do the county's business, Lord. Just thank you for this opportunity to serve the county, Lord. Just pray that just helps do the will of the county there, Lord, and your will, Lord. And pray with us to do what's right for the people and try to save the money that we can and pay all the bills. And we thank you and praise you in Jesus' name. Amen.
Amen.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. I've got me a new deputy judge helping me today, you all, so she's a pretty good helper. She might.
A lot prettier than that other.
I agree with that.
He's probably smarter too.
Ain't no doubt.
Guaranteed you're smarter.
Please tell him.
Ain't no doubt, Tom. All right. Let's see, department reports. We'll go into solid waste, Mitch.
Yes, sir. Our receipts were just about right on where they were last month. $46,758.99. That was just almost right at where it was last month. We had our fall cleanup, or our spring cleanup, April 21st and 22nd. I thought it was very successful. It was my first one, so I'm just engaging on what everybody said. It was successful. On Friday, we had a total of 162 vehicles, 73 of those pulling a trailer. Saturday, the identical number of vehicles, and 74 of those were pulling trailers. So we did had a really good turnout. We filled up at least 14 roll-offs. And so just had a really good turnout. Hopefully we'll have one in the fall, October, November. Angie, is that, we probably have one then. And I just want to thank the solid waste department and Kevin's road department. Everybody pitched in, did a good job. The inmates at the regional jail. Thank Harvey and John up there. It's really successful. And then we had the tire amnesty, May 4th through the 6th. I don't have any results from that. You know, there was a lot, several tractor trailers of tires from out here. And also we sold our scrap steel. We made $4,546 on that. It was real good. And thank the soil conservation.
Go ahead.
Pearl's got the invoices from Bremke, so I don't know the total yardage on the spring cleanup, but I don't know if I can have that next time, but I know it was big. It was very successful.
What I was getting ready to say is, I know me and you talked a little bit about, them roll-offs and dumpsters. We are in need of more of those. I know we talked about that.
We do, and
We are in need of more of those. They're high, but we've got so many people that are wanting them, Mitch, that
we have a long waiting list, and really people that have been really patient.
We got enough money to buy one if
Very
it's $6,000. Are they 6,000? One shot.
Of course, the thing about those, we get so many people wanting them, but, I mean, eventually they pay themselves back, and then we'd be making them. But, I mean, just the cost starting off, you know, I know.
Right.
But I know you said there's a long line of
Oh,
people.
there's a big list. People, like I said, been very patient and kind to wait on them. But there is a need, you know, somewhere we can find in the budget to possibly purchase a few more. That'd be great. That's all I had, Judge.
It ain't just a dead expense, I said, they're paying back quick. People want.
Yeah, I agree all day.
So, we'll try to look at that, maybe talk to Pearl, see if there's a way we can get a few more or something, or we'll just kind of see how it goes. Go from there, but when you said that, I just thought about that.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mitch, I appreciate the work you're doing, buddy.
Thank you.
All right, road, Ken, what you got?
We've been focusing mainly on cemetery road, getting all them ready for Memorial Day, we're doing mowing, switch whacking, cutting everything back on them. We've been putting in pies, cutting rust, bush back, we've been good, we started grading, we've been right there.
And you have, I can attest for that, they're staying busy and doing a good job. I say it every time, I couldn't ask for a better bunch, all the way around, that we got here. Ambulance, and Trish is here tonight to give the ambulance report. Blake is gone, but Trish is here tonight to give the report on ambulance service.
Okay, Steve wanted me to go over some numbers with you all to show you what Medicaid and Medicare does pay. It's on your second page. At the top, Advanced Life Support, which that's our ALS runs, it's paramedic runs. It shows what our mileage is and how many runs we had that were billable. We had a total of 138 billable runs. They billed for $97,450. All of that came up to $191,000. They had to do an insurance adjustment because Medicaid and Medicare they will only pay a certain amount. It's $100,000, it was a $100,000 adjustment. We ended up with $60,000. I was telling Angie, Medicaid and Medicare, well, Medicare went up on mileage because we get paid mileage. Medicare, no matter whether it's ALS or BLS, first 17 miles, they pay $13.20 a mile. After those 17 miles, every mile is $8.80. Medicaid, for an ALS run, an emergency run, they only pay $4 per mile. If it's a BLS run, they only pay $3. If it's a scheduled run, like from the nursing home or from a residence or something that we take them to the doctor's appointment, they pay $2 per mile for a run. That's why the ambulance service can't make money, because we're doing the runs, and they're being billed for as much as our billing company can bill them for, but they only have to pay so much. We do get monthly, we're getting that GEMT money, which is the money that we're reimbursed from Medicaid, and we're getting about $12,000 a month, right, Pearl? But that'll go through the end of 2024, and then if they don't renew it, we'll lose that. So, but that was just, and I gave you January, February, March, and April, so you would know each month the billable runs, what they pay, and what the insurance adjustments and everything are, so you all could kind of look at that and see, you know, if they paid what they were billed for, we would be fine. But they're only we're averaging $439 a run is all that they pay us. That's all they pay. And 90% of our runs are Medicaid and Medicare. There's also our contract payments. It's got the cash credits right there, right under there for April. Contract payments, that's our nursing home runs. If it's a facility pay, our insurance payments, that's private. You know, that's like your Anthem Blue Cross Blue Shield, that people that work that have that type of insurance that are Medicaid, Medicare, and then private payments are people that don't have insurance but are paying on their bill that they owe. So I just wanted to go over that with you all so you could take a look at it and see what we're paid. Any questions?
So if you are dispatched out for a run and when you get to that household and they refuse to go, who pays that?
They get billed $100. The billing company will, if we do a procedure, if we do vitals, if we do an EKG on them, something like that, and then they won't go to the hospital. We won't, we'll do a breathing treatment for somebody, but we won't give any kind of other medication or anything like that to them. But the billing company will bill them for $100, but them paying it's another thing, you know.
Yeah.
what's the success rate on collecting that? I
If
know we find
you-
collection services.
Yeah, and that's the only thing you can basically do is have a collection
Has that just
service.
started, $100 deal?
No.
That's always been,
Yeah,
well, somebody asked me that the other day,
yeah.
and he paid it,
And I
but
mean,
I
I
had
always,
never heard of that.
I always tell them, you know, when we go to them, hey, if you don't go to the hospital, you're still gonna get a bill from the billing company for $100.
Well, he was happy about it, he said, that saved might saved my life for $100. I mean, he was tickled to death, and he wrote the check, you know, but I had never heard of that,
Yeah,
and he didn't go.
yeah, 911 billing they do bill for that,
That's
so. I mean, we're using diesel, it's our manpower,
Looks like to me you got about 20 of them a month, I mean,
yeah, we do, we do. Cause I mean, and some of them, I mean, I could show you the addresses on them, cause I can't tell you a patient's name, but the addresses I could show you. There's some of them we're going to 3 to 4 times a month. We have one lady that we go to a couple times a week and never goes,
And don't get no payment.
and she won't pay it. And I tell her every time, she said, I just ain't paying it.
You don't have no insurance.
Probably, but they can't bill the insurance because Medicaid and Medicare won't pay for that.
Then you won't go.
And she never goes.
But right here, she's doing them on, in this paper here, right here, she's doing them on the ambulance service. Why you can't make no money, why you go on a hole? They got good service, they do a good job, they go to runs, it's just the fact that Medicare and Medicaid only pay so much, and 90% of our runs are that.
Yes, yeah. And I mean, a lot of our runs are Medicare because, I mean, it's like I was telling Steve earlier, Lee County's population is aging, you know, and when you get to a certain age, it's Medicare. So, I mean, a lot of our runs are Medicare. And I mean, that shows in the payments. You can see that Medicare, we always get more money in Medicare than we do Medicaid, but they still don't pay anything, you know. We use, I mean, if we have an ALS run and we use oxygen, 2 or 3 if we use 3 meds, that puts our ALS crew up to a tier 1, which makes it a higher paying run, but Medicaid and Medicare won't pay anymore. So.
that's what I was telling Steve, I think we need somebody to be talking for us, and frankly, trying to get the counties more money to run on.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's, and the federal government really do, I mean, we talked about this
Yes.
this morning, and like I told you, I think the last time we talked to Rand Paul's lady, and she, about how the federal government blows a lot of money that could be used down here in these, especially our area, just for stuff that.
I mean, it's something you gotta have, I mean, you gotta have an ambulance service, but if you can't, it's breaking every county up. I mean,
It's breaking, especially small counties.
Yeah, it's our rural counties that it's
You
hurting
can't
so
go
bad.
down on it. You can't.
No. No.
We have to
Yeah, they call 911, you know, we have to go, we can't refuse. You can't refuse anyway. If they don't have insurance, you know, if somebody stops us on the side of the road and they don't have insurance, we have to take them, you know. I mean, that's just human decency too.
For them, I mean, you think the state would set aside some emergency funding or something to help these small counties? But I guess it's more or less it's a federal problem.
Yeah.
This Medicaid.
I did get some news there that, the state representative, not actually ours, but I was talking to another one, Fugit, Chris Fugit, who represents Harris, Perry County, and he had made a call for me, and talked to the guy from the Attorney General's office, I think, who's over the opioid money, and he gave him hope. He said he thinks that's gonna be we're gonna be able to use that opioid money to help with ambulance services, because I told him how hard it is on small counties to operate, we need that, use that money on that. And he said that he talked to the guy, they're supposed to send some guidance out to us, but he said it's pretty broad, and that he feels pretty confident that we're gonna be able to use it for that, or at least a big portion of it for that, and that'll help us some. So, anybody have any questions, Trish, you have anything else?
No, that's it. I mean, I gave you our runs have picked up. I mean, right now, we're averaging, this we've already got 97 runs so far this month. Last month, we had 191, I think. I mean, our runs have picked up, I mean, with 2 crews, that's a lot of runs. You know, when you got a 2-hour transport to the hospital and back. So, I mean, we've been busy, but our money isn't getting any bigger.
Adding the miles to it.
Yeah, we're adding miles, we are. I mean, it's been busy, but it's gonna be busy until about September, because this is the time of the year that everything picks up. So,
Everybody's out and about, yeah.
yeah, warmer, everybody out. So, but if y'all have any questions about it, just let me know, and let Steve know, and I'll, if I don't know, I'll get you the right answer.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Trish, appreciate it.
You're welcome.
Y'all are doing a good job.
Thanks.
We appreciate what y'all do. All right, Scott's not here, he couldn't be here, he called me last night, he's been having some trouble with sickness, and I think if he got over that, he was hoping to go to a kindergarten graduation in another county, I think, so I told him that was fine. Deidre, you got anything?
Yes, we're doing good. Our tourism, also Main Street program, first cruising, Friday night cruising went really well. We had more cars than we had dash plaques to give out, so that was great. The church did hot dogs, and Kentucky Farm Bureau came out with pool noodle horses, because it was a pre-derby thing, and they got to race on the pool noodle horses. It was a great event. We're looking forward now to the Bourbon and Moonshine Festival, it'll be June 16th and 17th on Main Street around the Woolly Run Park. So looking forward to that. We've got some distillers and some moonshiners on the Discovery Channel show, some master distillers from the Discovery Channel show coming. We've also got, the food vendors are coming in, the artisan vendors are coming in. So it's going to be a good event this year. Also, if you haven't been to the farmer's market, it's in a new location right next door to the courthouse here. The first day that they were open was on Thursday. It was a grand opening, and it was well attended. And we're just really appreciative of the building owner for getting it fixed in such a good manner for us. And we're really appreciative of the museum allowing the vendors to be in there during the wintertime or during Valentine's Day and St. Patrick's Day events. But if you haven't went over there, it's really neat. Hours are Thursdays and Fridays from 9 to 4, but starting in June. Let's start with June 1st times. We just had a meeting. It'll be Thursdays from 9 to 5, Fridays from 9 to 4, first and second Saturdays of the month 9 to noon. So we'll get some of that marketing information out there about that. Campgrounds and cabins are doing well. Now that school's out, people are planning their trips. The climbing areas, the parking lots are full right now on weekends. A lot of times starting on Wednesdays. We're also going to try to plan a paddle from Boonville to Bateville on June 10th. And we'll get information out about that too. A lot of activities.
Thank you, Deidre. I met with Dave Atkins today, coming in office today, met with him, he's the chairman of the board over that Red River Gorge project, maybe that whole hotel deal is maybe coming together. Won't go into a lot of detail yet over that, just I don't think it's really time yet, but I think that's coming along pretty good. Things seem to be moving in the direction over there that seems to be progressing, so as far as that stuff's going. But I met with him today, he came in the office. Okay, anybody have anything to bring before the court? We got here noted for the record, and I'll just read the deed. It's noted for the record that County Judge.
Judge, we need that hearing. I forgot that. We need to hold a little hearing.
Okay.
Road A and LGEA, I forgot. It's on our agenda.
It's on the, okay.
I think it is. Should have been. Well, I apologize, but I advertised it. So we need to hold one. It can be part of your fiscal court. It's okay. when you get ready.
We'll read these notes here, and then you can tell us how we need to proceed on that.
Yes, that's fine. We can do it right after this court meeting or whatever. It's okay.
Okay, we'll go through that, and then
That'd
we'll
be
go ahead and do
fine. That'd be fine.
it. Okay. To notice for the record, county judge and magistrates have received, quietus of outgoing sheriff Wendell Childers that all property taxes for tax year 2022 will be in the county court. Magistrates and county judges have received bank balances, financial reports as of April 30, 2023, copy of claims adjustments from April meeting. Notice the record of Judge Mays and magistrates have received copy of claims transfers. Notice the record of public hearing for county road aid and LGA fund for fiscal year 2022 and 23 was held prior to the regular session, it says, but
We'll say
so
afterwards.
we will do this after the regular session is done.
That's fine. I forgot it.
All right. Well, let's go into the agenda. Number one here, approved minutes from April 2023 meeting. Everybody's had a chance to look at their minutes.
Make a motion to approve.
Tim made a motion to approve.
Second.
Dino seconded. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Discuss approved transfers. Let's look at
I give them
transfers.
a list, Judge. There may be more. I'll give them to you next time if they are. And we're getting down to the end of the year and I have to make a lot of line item
Okay.
transfers.
Make a motion.
Dino made a motion to approve transfer. Rodney seconded. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Approved first reading of Lee County Fiscal Court's budget for fiscal year 23 and 24, and this could be changed anytime prior to, our next meeting, we'll include it again, but this just for Dennis, I made the motion to approve it.
Second.
Tim seconded, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Approved road labor description change, the equipment operator for following employees, and Tyler and Ricky have been, given to, need to be moved to, operators now, just move their salary to $15 an hour.
Make a motion.
Dennis made the motion,
I see.
Tim second, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Dennis, I look for that now, Sunday, son, I look for that.
Sneak it in on
He does that way. We'll go to auction, all right.
We'll need to do an effective date on that, and I didn't.
Yeah, let's,
Okay, effective,
It'll be, the 11th.
effective,
May
May
the
11th on that, effective May 11th. Great. Approve, People's Telecom LLC, McKee, PRTC, permit for construction of aerial fiber optic upgrades, and they're gonna upgrade, they just need our permission, the May subdivision and Congleton Exchange, and the copies of the maps there, you've got copies of what they're gonna do. That Congleton Exchange is there kind of around the Long Branch area there. It's a pretty good little thing, and then May subdivision, they're building fiber optics out through there, they just need our
I'll make
permission.
that motion, but we still want PRTC on 14
Hey, we're working on it. I had a call yesterday about it. We're trying, we can't, we can only do what we can
We want it
do.
countywide, what we want.
Yeah, that's the goal, and that's their goal. It just takes time. They said just building the fiber takes a long time just to build that fiber. But that's their goal, and they told me that
I'm gonna keep reminding them.
within 4 or 5 years, they should have it, hopefully everything goes right. I know that's a long time for some people, but that's not gonna be 4 or 5 years for everybody. Some people just like they're doing this right here now, but just different spots.
I'll make that motion.
Tim made the motion, Dino seconded. All in favor? Anybody opposed? Approved second reading of budget amendment number 3. Is that?
yes, okay, that was the one we did in the prior meeting, and, that's it, this is just your second reading,
I couldn't remember what that was.
okay. We, on the second reading, let me look at it just for a minute. We had a little money I could amend into ARPA because the city paid us back some money. So we did that. We brought in $300,000 of surplus right at the end of the last fiscal year, we got a lot of money. Angie was able to get us a lot of money from FEMA, and we had that sitting there in June. So we brought it in, and we had to give general fund $150 because general fund couldn't make it without it. And that's pretty much what this budget amendment was for. And I think we brought in some surplus into the solid waste too.
Okay. Anybody got any questions? Not make a motion?
That was number
Motion.
3.
I'll make a motion.
Dean made the motion.
I'll see.
Tim second, all in favor? Anybody opposed? I'm looking at it.
I don't wanna be a hog.
Approve first reading of budget amendment number 4.
Okay. What that is Angie got us some more FEMA money. So we're
Hey,
bringing
what
it
that
in.
Angie, she bringing
No,
that
Angie.
FEMA money
I'm
out.
telling you, and we, and Robert Brown might buck on me on this one because one of the reasons I've had such time with budgets and budget amendments is there's so many unknowns between now and June and just different things going on. But I brought in a USDA grant for that jailer car. Now, if that don't happen, I don't know what we'll do, but we'll see. I'm bringing it in because we've gotten a letter of commitment, sort of, we committed the matching money on it, so I'm bringing it in. If Robert Brown refuses to let me do it, we'll just have to go from there. But anyway, we're doing that. We're bringing the FEMA money into the road fund. I'm putting in on some contractual services because the judge wants to blacktop the parking lot, and Angie's got some blacktop for her FEMA project. And the ambulance service had about $15,000 that I could bring in that I had not before. So I think I got that from LGEA. Yeah, LGEA. And LGEA I increased too, and that's what I did with it, is I gave it to the ambulance service and the jail. Yeah, my LGEA was $150 this year. I think I only budgeted about $130, but we got about $150. So we did good there.
All right, get a motion to approve that. Dennis made the motion, get a second. Robin second, all in favor?
Aye.
They opposed. Discuss approve Lee County Youth Sports request for $3,500 to the new fiscal court bureau for necessary repairs and equipment. And Jolene, did you want to say anything about that, or do you just want that on the agenda?
I mean, as vice president, we're just gonna, you guys should have a list of stuff that we wanna do.
Yeah.
And we wanna make, all handicap accessible, and put handrails in the bathroom. We need new catchers equipment, baseball equipment, we need stuff for the concession stand, plumbing for the bathrooms. It's run down a little bit. The sinks fail in the concession stand, so we're gonna have to put a new sink in.
And we've got, in the new budget, what, 35, we put in 35 for the new budget? Okay.
Well, youth services, and that's
You
fine.
say, okay, so
I'll make that motion.
we can, in this new budget, starting July 1, we can give
They
it.
got it, we give them some last year.
And Jolene, y'all gonna turn in bills to us or what?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do we have to make a
We
motion?
always go to Lee County Building Spot and get
Okay.
all our stuff, and get PO and stuff like that.
Well, I know we all support these sports and our kids, I know we do that.
That's good.
Tim made the motion on that.
Second.
Dino second, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Approve application of resolution for financing two 2024 Mack trucks through the Cape Coalition in the amount of $388.48. That's the, of course, we do that every year. We've done that. I was here before. That's just a Mack truck. When they go back, Kevin?
We take them back June the first. They sell like June the 12th or 14th.
We always make money. and
We always, I tell you, it's always been the best thing there was.
Make that motion.
But I seen Dennis throw that finger up there too,
Oh,
now
yeah.
Dennis got the motion on
Let's
that.
make some money.
Can I get a second? Rodney second, all in favor?
Sneak it in a little bit.
Approve interlocal, approve interlocal cooperative agreement through Keiko Finance Corporation, amount of up to $250,000 for the additional repairs on roof, courthouse, and replacement of heating and air for P&P offices, and that's where we had the major damage on the roof up there. It was major. That, and then the heating and air that's getting ready to be replaced up there at the P&P offices, and I know the state's been sending emails, and their summer's coming up here, and we've got to get that fixed, and so Pearl's contacted Keiko to borrow the $250,000 to fix that.
They pay a pretty good sum of rent up there.
50,000?
You have to keep them
Yeah,
on.
we gotta keep it.
Even if you can't let people burn up
No.
the fire, and it's gonna take a little bit to get the parts in, according to Barry Jackson. It'll take 6 weeks to probably get parts needed to do that, so, so we need to get moving on that. But
But what do they charge on that loan?
On this one,
On the percentage?
3.52, I believe he said, something like that. I guess it will be for sure after they sell. This won't take place as far as in money-wise until July, but he wanted me to get all of the stuff started to get it to where we could have money by, like in July.
That was pretty good, isn't
I'll make the motion.
Tim made the motion, Dino second, all in favor? Anybody opposed? Approve first reading of ordinance approving the lease agreement with Keiko Co-op for financing repairs to roof, courthouse, and HVAC replacement for P&P and Pearl.
We have to, because we're going through their bond program, it's the first time we've done that. Lonnie says this has to be done through ordinance. So you're actually doing a first reading of the ordinance approving the lease agreement with Keiko Corporation for the financing. So that, it's first reading, and we'll have to do second reading the next time.
Get a motion on that. Dennis made the motion,
Second.
Tim second, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Approve resolution declaring the official intent of the county with respect to reimbursement, temporary advances made for capital expenditures to be made for subsequent borrowing.
What?
Is that the same thing?
Well, the reason we're doing that, and the reason they have to have that is because I'm going to probably pay Virgil up front, but we don't have that much money in our budget to balance, okay, to balance. So they'll reimburse us for that. When I get this loan, it'll reimburse us and put that money back to where we have cash flow. Does that make sense? And this is just telling them that that's what they're doing. They're reimbursing us for the roof.
Motion approved. Rodney made the motion. Dennis seconded, all in favor? Aye. Anybody opposed? Discuss approve agreement between CRAD and Lee County Fiscal Court for court employee to drive the CRAD vehicle, and it's, I guess, the senior citizen's vehicle.
Alice, yeah.
Yeah, drive, just have a proven, an agreement that she can drive the vehicle.
I'll make it.
Tim made that motion.
Second.
Dino seconded, all in favor? Earl, do we need to go out of this meeting to go ahead and that, or we
I
just
don't.
go into this meeting? Just
I
say
really
this
don't
thing?
think you do, Judge. I think that what we're just doing is holding a proposed use hearing for LGEA and Road Aid. If anybody had a comment that they wanted to make about our money that we spend on the road funds or whatever. The Road Aid funds are one of our major parts of, county roads. So, we use it for salaries, we use it to repair roads, bridges, just whatever we need to do it. And on the LGEA, all the mineral tax, with the exception of $15,000 this year, went to fund the jail. And it's always been that way. We use our mineral tax to fund the jail. So,
So if anybody has any comments, just to hear about how we use that, welcome to comment right now, this is the public hearing. If not, is that all we need to do, Beryl?
that's it.
All right, I think that's it. Does anybody have anything to bring up or anything? If not, we've got, looking at the fella over there.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Thank you, Steve. Pearl had the Remke invoices, and best I added it up real quick, about 81 tons is about how much trash we took out during the spring cleanup. It's a lot, 81 tons.
Three more, if they're on the ground.
Problem. Yeah.
Keeps it out of reading.
There was a lot.
All right, Dino made the motion to adjourn. Dan a second, all in favor? Thank y'all for coming.